Assalamu alaikum. For last two lecture videos, we have been discussing uninformed search strategies. So far, we have looked into working of breadth-first search and depth-first search. In this lecture video, we will look into other available algorithms for uninformed search strategies. This is the material that we will try to cover in this video. Uninformed cost search is extension of breadth-first search. It expands the node in similar manner as BFS does, that is, level-wise tree traversal is performed. Then how is this search different? This search uses information of cost to expand nodes. It works by looking for least step cost of all the children of a node and expand that child which has the minimum cost of all. As we are well aware that breadth-first search uses queue data structure, being extension of DFS, UCS also uses queue data structure, but nodes are inserted based on their cost information. Thus, FIFO queue is ordered by cost. If all step costs become equal, then UCS will work like BFS, as there will be no node that will have cost priority on another. Let's discuss UCS through an example. This is search space that we will use for BFS. We have got a start state, A, the initial state, the root node, and this state is with the agent will be in when algorithm starts. We have got two goal states, G1 and G2, and nodes B through F. You will notice that movement along arcs have numbers on them. The number on an arc is cost of traversing the arc. For example, if you want to go from A to D, you will go with the cost of 9. So far, example going from A to state B cost 5 and from A to state C cost 4. The aim of research is to move from A to one of the goal states, but you have got to do that with minimal total cost on the path. UCS will find the cheapest path, the least cost path between A to goal nodes G1 and G2. Another name for UCS is cheapest first search. We will proceed by drawing spanning tree of the problem. The search will start from the root node A. First of all, the search will go on by looking into the children of root node A, which are B, C, and D. Out of all these children, the minimum cost child would be found, and it is C, as you can go from A to C with the cost of 4 only. You can go from A to B with the cost of 5, and you can go from A to D with the cost of 9. The minimum of all three is 4. And we will take the path from A to C with the cost of 4. A will be placed in the visited list. Path cost against each node will be mentioned along the nodes, and it will take path cost of 5 to reach node B, 4 to reach node C, and 9 to reach node D. We will expand that node which has the minimum path cost, and it is C in this case. By expanding C, we will get two children of C which are G1. By looking at this original graph, we can go to G1 from C and we can go to D from C. We can go with the cost of 7 to G1 and we can go with the cost of 3 to D. We will write these all nodes in the spanning tree. Now we will calculate total path cost that it will take from root A to reach the goal node G, and it will be 11. Same, we will also calculate the path cost of reaching D from root node A, and it will be 7. We will add the C in visited list, and thus the C has turned grey. Looking at the spanning tree, we have found that we have now 4 active paths, which are B5, G1, D, and D. Alright, We can go to any of these paths and start expanding the tree, but we will look for the minimum cost path, which is B, with the cost of 5. Now we will go on expanding B node. By expanding B node, from this tree we can see that we can go to C, G1 and E. There are 3 children of B. Thus we will write these 3 children in the spanning tree. We can go from B to E with the cost of 2, from B to C with the cost of 2, and from B to G1 with the cost of 3. We will mention all these costs and we will calculate the total path cost from root node to reaching these nodes. For example, the total path cost from root node to reaching node E through B will be 7. For C, the total path cost by adding 5 and 2 will become 7. For G1, it would be 8. Now at this point, we have visited B and B will be added into the visited list and it will be turned grey. Now we have active 6 paths, that is E, C, G1 with the cost of 8, G1 with the cost of 11, D with the cost of 7 and D with the cost of 9. We will explore that path which has the minimum cost. Now there are 3 paths that have equal cost, that is E has cost of 7, C has cost of 7 and D has cost of 7. By following the root left right regime, we will explore the leftmost child, and that is E7. We will go on expanding E7. We will notice that when we expand E node and when we have visited it, it has no more children to be explored. Thus, we have reached the dead end. This is how we mark the dead end. Now we have 5 open paths. We have explored E and now we will look at the remaining 5 and we will go on finding the expanding that node which has the minimum cost. And here by looking at the root left and right regime, we will expand node C with the cost of 7. At this point, we will look at visited list and find that C is already in the visited list. Thus, we will not expand C as we have already visited C with the less cost, that is of 4. Thus, we have reached another dead end at C. Now, we have 4 remaining active paths with G1 of cost 8, G1 of cost 11, D of cost 7 and D with cost 9. We will expand the one which has the minimum cost, and that is D with the cost of 7. We will go on expanding this node. From the original graph, we will see that from D, we can go to F with the cost of 4 and we can move to G2 with the cost of 3. We will expand in the same order in the spanning tree. We can move to the F with the cost of 4 and we can move to G2 with the cost of 3. And we will write D in the visited list. Now we have visited D as well. And the total cost of reaching F from A through node C, D and F is 11 and G2 is 10 through node A, C, D and G2. This is the total path cost that we have found by adding 4, 3 and 3. Now we have 2 dead ends here, E and C, and we have 5 active paths, a total of 5 active paths that we can explore. We can explore G1 with the cost of 8, G1 with cost of 11, F with cost of 11, G2 with cost of 10 and D with cost of total path cost of 9. We will look for that node which has minimum path cost, and we will find that from all these 5 nodes, G1 is the minimum path cost, that is 8. We will go on expanding the node G1. Before expanding G1, the algorithm will ask that am I at goal node? The answer will be yes, and thus the goal is reached. The search will stop here, and this is the optimal path that this search can yield to reach the goal. We can reach G1 with the cost of 11. We can reach goal with cost of 10, but this algorithm returns that path cost which is the minimum, increasing the performance measure. We have maximized the performance measure, and UCS always return the optimal path. This is the optimal path that the search will take. The search will start from route A, then it will go to node B, then it will explore the goal node. This is the path that will be taken by UCS. Alright, let's discuss the technicalities that uniform cost search offers. Is it complete? Yes. If there is goal in the graph, then it will always find one. Let C be the cost of optimal solution and epsilon is each step to get closer to the goal node. Then the number of steps is equal to C asterisk divided by epsilon plus 1. Here we have taken plus 1 as we start from 0, which is root node, and end to C asterisk divided by epsilon. This is C asterisk is the cost of optimal solution. C asterisk for this problem, for the previous problem that we have discussed, would be 8. And epsilon is the each step cost taken toward the goal. Epsilon will be 5 and 3. Uniform cost search is always optimal as it only selects a path with the lowest path cost, as we have seen in the previous diagram. When all costs are equal, when time and space complexity of all costs are equal, then uniform cost search will work like breadth first search. It will become breadth first search. Alright, this ends the lecture for today. Allah Hafiz.